Good day, everyone. This is your Vedic astrology coach, Sharath Kapoor, and welcome to my channel, The Legit Astrologer. This is the monthly transit update for the month of October 2024, where I'm going to talk about all 12 ascendant signs. Let's begin with Aries ascendants to see how the month of October is going to be for Aries ascendants. So, here I'm going to talk about some of the most important transits for you, what is happening. The month of October is a bit tricky because there are a number of planetary transits that are happening. Jupiter is going to be joining the retrograde season on 9th of October. So this is one of the most prominent transits for you that is happening, and it is going to stay retrograde till February 4th, 2025. So for the next few months, Mars, which is your Lagna Lord, also will be making a transit. It will be in the sign of Gemini, and it will move out of the sign of Gemini and enter its debilitation sign in your fourth house on 20th of October. Sun is going to be changing signs from Virgo. It will move to Libra towards the mid of the month. Venus and Mercury are also going to change signs. So there's a lot that is happening. It is a complicated month. So there are 5 key planetary changes that are happening in the month of October. So here, let's start with your Lagna Lord to understand what is happening as far as the month of October is concerned. The first 20 days, your ascendant Lord Mars continues to make a transit in the sign of Gemini. This is where it is going to be. It is going pretty strong in the natural third house and also in your third house. This is your first and the eighth Lord making a transit in the third house. So Mars continues to support any kind of efforts that you put. These efforts are for your self-development, self-growth, and also with regards to your transformation, because that is also something which Mars rules. So here, I have prepared a representational chart using my software, Parashara's Light, to give you a very holistic view and to be able to explain you in the most simple manner. See, Mars is the significator of the third house, and it continues to make this strong transit in the third house itself, supporting your courage, valor. So there is something to do with younger siblings. You are going to focus a lot as far as your energies are concerned. You will have to resolve some matters with regards to your younger sibling. You will have a lot of courage as far as your communication is concerned. So this is the kind of command that you will have. So Mars also represents logic. So your communications also likely to have some sort of logic. So any interactions that you do with other people, make sure that you demonstrate plenty of energy, because if you demonstrate energy, that is going to go in your favor. Now on 20th of October, Mars will become debilitated in the sign of Cancer, but it will be in your fourth house. So it is forming a yoga for you. So last 10 days of October, this could be a little unpleasant for you in the very beginning, because Mars is going to be in a challenging situation in its debilitation sign where it has fallen. And momentarily, it is not getting Nicha Bhanga, because Nicha Bhanga really depends on the placement of moon. So in case you have a well-disposed moon in your chart, this could be a favorable transit for you. But otherwise, this Mars is creating a yoga, because this is your Lagna Lord moving in the fourth house. So Mars wants you to put all your attention, energy in those things that make you feel happy, that make you feel content. Put your energy in cleaning your house. Put your energy in working in the kitchen. That is the ultimate simple remedy for you as far as Mars's transit is concerned. Read Hanuman Chalisa. Last 10 days of October, it is going to be extremely important for you, and you will have certain benefits if you worship Lord Hanuman, if you worship Lord Kartikeya, because that is associated to Mars, or if you also worship Lord Narsimha or any other form of Vishnu. If you simply use the mantra Om Vishnave Nama, you will have some benefits out of this transit. But initial first few days of this transit are going to be challenging, but later on it is likely to get better for you. Jupiter, which is your ninth lord and your 12th lord, continues to make a transit in the sign of Taurus. It is in its last degree, but Jupiter is entering the retrograde season. It is joining Saturn in this retrograde season, and on 9th of October, it will go retrograde. Now, this is a very prominent transit. I'm going to make a separate video, a very detailed video on how to read Jupiter's retrograde transit for each ascendant, and of course, what is going to happen around this time. But Jupiter is doing two things here. One, it is looking back at your first house. So Jupiter for you is your ninth house ruler and your 12th house ruler. So it is looking back at your first house. It wants to fix a few things which are related to your ascendant. So firstly, there is change that is coming. Change for yourself. You are likely to be in a situation wherein you could put on weight, so you could expand. So you have to be very careful in terms of what you eat, what you consume. You're likely to go through some dietary changes around this time. Okay. Transformation is inevitable. And at the same time, Jupiter being your ninth lord, the lord of fortune, dharma, father figure, your religion. So you need to be the protector of your dharma. Jupiter also rules higher self-consciousness for you. It's your 12th lord. It is the house of unlimited potential. So it is looking back at your ascendant and it wants you to change for good. Now, any planet that goes retrograde, it has a special significance. I do not consider Jupiter's retrograde to be extremely auspicious because Jupiter represents Jiva. It represents all the human beings. So when Jupiter goes retrograde, there are challenges as far as its signification is concerned. And primarily, it creates a lot of suffering as far as worldly matters are concerned. But when Jupiter goes retrograde, it has a very significant and powerful seventh aspect. And based on Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra, it activates seventh from its position. That is where the focus is. So just Jupiter is going to act for the next few months, starting October 9th, that it is in the sign of Scorpio. But it is in the second house. So from that prospect, it is auspicious because it will believe to be in its friend's sign, which is ruled by Mars, and not anymore in an inimical sign. But this will activate and channelize your transformation. So the next few months, you can expect significant changes. Be prepared for sudden ups and downs. Be prepared for sudden changes. Be prepared for sudden transformation. Any decision related to inheritance, you will have to make financial decisions during this time. Decisions related to gold, investment, any financial management, any financial planning, and also take care of your family's well-being during this time. Spend a lot of time back home. This is one of the most important message for you as far as Jupiter's retrograde transit is concerned. Worship Lord Shiva, or you could use a simple mantra that is related to Sadashiva. Okay, you could use a Panchakshari mantra Om Namah Shivaya, or you could use a mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Sadashivaya to get some relief from this Jupiter's retrograde transit in case it has some trouble for you. This will really depend on how the natal placement of Jupiter is in your chart, but the initial few days could be a bit restless, could be a bit challenging for you. So you have to take care of yourself. Sun, which is your fifth lord, another important planet, it will be going in the sign of Virgo till 16th of October. And on 17th of October, Sun is going to enter Libra, which is its debilitated sign. Okay. Uh, Now, unfortunately, Sun will not have Nicha Bhanga during this transit because Venus will be entering the sign of Scorpio. So it will be one house ahead of the Sun. So therefore, signification related to Sun are going to go down. So one of the things you have to be very careful of is your relationship, your partnership. So love interest are going to be cause of concern. What you must demonstrate in your relationship is loyalty, punctuality, and consistency. Be very consistent of what you say. If you say something, you better be prepared to action it out. Okay, you can't just say for the heck of it. So you have to be very protective of your relationship. Keep the ego aside and listen to your partner. The second half of October would have some relationship karma because see, the sun has also been under eclipse. So 2nd of October, there's going to be a solar eclipse. I have made a detailed video on it. Please watch it on my YouTube channel. So in case you're running through the Dasha Antardasha of Sun, Moon, Ketu, Mercury, Jupiter, or Mars, you're likely to be impacted. Certain love interest or relationship issues could be there. And at the same time, there could be certain opposition as far as your workplace is concerned. So stay away from politics and try to build healthy, cordial relationships. Workout, exercises in the gym, and do anything as far as your fitness is concerned, because this way you will be able to channelize your Mars during this time. Okay, so these are some of the areas where you have to be cautious, where you have to be careful of. And I wish you the very best as far as the month of October is concerned. Thank you. Now let us talk about Taurus ascendants and what's happening with Taurus ascendants as far as the month of October is concerned. See, October is a complex month. Firstly, it starts with a solar eclipse, which brings endings and new beginnings. And I have made a very detailed video on it. You can watch it on my YouTube channel. It is available. Secondly, there are 5 key planetary changes. Venus is going to change signs, move into Scorpio, which is your ascendant lord. It's quite an important transit for you. Mercury is going to change signs. From its exaltation sign, it is going to move to Libra on 10th of October. For a very brief period, Venus and Mercury will come together in the sign of Libra, but their degrees will be apart. Sun is going to change signs and move in its debilitation sign of Libra on 17th of October. Mars is also going to change signs. So both Sun and Mars will see debility as far as the month of October is concerned. So from that aspect, it is a bit of challenging month. But at the same time, there are new beginnings. Whenever there are new beginnings, the initial steps, the initial first few days always are challenging because when change is coming, it is uncomfortable at the first instance. So let's talk about your Lagna Lord, Venus. So thankfully, Venus has a pretty strong planet. So you have that support because what I believe is that when Lagna Lord's transit or placement or anything related time period is pretty strong, so that is a more of a supporting factor for the individual. It is going pretty strong in the sign of Libra, though the house that Venus is associated, it is Maran Karak or MKS in this house. Okay, so it loses its significance, but it is in the sign of Libra. It's Mool Trikon sign, and this is there till 13th of October, which is a very strong placement as far as Venus is concerned. It is also giving you Viparita Yoga. Now, this is the last leg of Venus's transit. It is time to rise. You will be able to overcome opposition. You will be able to overcome any kind of competition, any kind of blockage. If there are any delays that have been hindering your progress, now is the time when those things will remove, or probably you will move forward. This is a very progressive transit, and this is also an excellent time for you to learn, pick up a skill, do anything that can increase or enhance your intelligence and particularly your practical skills at work. This Venus is going to move in your 7th house in the sign of Scorpio on 13th of October, and it will come in mutual aspect with Jupiter, and Jupiter will be retrograde at that point in time. So it is a very peculiar situation that both Jupiter and Venus are in a beautiful yoga at that point in time, because when Jupiter goes retrograde, it is behaving as if it is a Jupiter in the sign of Scorpio. It is not literally in your 7th house, but it behaves, its aspect is pretty strong. So that is amplifying the qualities of Venus. So relationship is going to prosper. If you've had issues in your marriage, if you've had issues in your relationship, if you've not been able to find the right match or the right partner, second half of October is quite a favorable time for all these pursuits. For those who want to take some key decisions related to business, this could be a potentially favorable time. See, 3 planets are going to be in your Kendra. 3 important planets: Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus during this time. Jupiter's retrograde, Saturn's retrograde. Jupiter is looking back at your 12th house. It is trying to improve your sleep. It is also trying to focus a lot on yourself and your relationship, your marriage, because its 7th aspect is quite prominent during the retrograde time. Saturn's as is again looking back at your 9th house and trying to uplift your dharma, uplift your fortune, and fortune is favorable. And 2 of these 3 planets are natural benefit for you, and 2 of these, Venus and Saturn, are functional benefit for you. So this is quite a prominent month for you for these matters. The solar eclipse is happening in your 5th house. So I made a detailed video, so which calls for endings and new beginnings. So the new beginnings as far as future is concerned. So if you were to set your goals, any future planning, right, whether it's related to your business, work, relationship, there is prosperity by the virtue of the placement of Venus, and also considering the fact that both Jupiter and Venus are in mutual aspect and it is happening at the right time. Okay. Later on, Mercury, which is your 5th lord, another important planet, and this Mercury will be a part of the eclipse. It will be a part of the Grahan, and this Mercury is going pretty strong in your 5th house in its exaltation sign of Virgo. It is going to move in the sign of Libra on 10th of October. And for the remainder of October, it is going to stay in the sign of Libra. I think towards the end of October, maybe 29th, 30th, it is moving out. For 3 days, Venus and Mercury will form a yoga. Okay. So Mercury holds great importance for you, second lord, and your fifth lord is moving here. So now it is away from the aspect of Mars, the fourth aspect of Mars, and also away from the fifth aspect of Jupiter. And most importantly, Mercury is shifting away, moving away from Ketu. But this Mercury will spend a lot of time alone. Okay, the first few days before it joins Sun, and they will form a Buddha Aditya Yoga. So this Mercury will be conjoined by Sun after 17th of October, but before that, it'll be alone. So those are the days between 10th till 17th of October. You have to be careful as far as your decision making is concerned. You have to be careful of other people. Maybe some friend might backstab you. So you have to just stay a bit low key. Okay. Later on, it will have the support. Mercury will also support Sun for some bit of time as far as its debilitation state is concerned. But this debilitation is more of a niche bhanga for you. It is cancellation of debility. And Mercury is pretty powerful at this point in time. So you can expect any job change related decision that could come in the second half of October, or any decision related to mortgage or any loan that you have to take, or any such transactions which could be favorable for you. So might take up a loan to buy something or maybe buy a house. So this could be a potentially favorable time for you. You also must understand that the last 10 days of the month, Mars will also make a debilitated transit in your third house. So it will require you to put a lot more efforts than you would need. And this is when Mars will start aspecting Mercury by its fourth aspect. So it will protect those significations as far as communication is concerned. Okay, so this is something which you have to be mindful of during this time. You will have to put in a lot more efforts as and when the month progresses, and do not shy away from putting efforts. Exercise, write a journal, use mantras and worship Lord Vishnu or worship Lakshmi during this time. So either you could use a mantra Om Vishnave Nama, or you could read Sri Suktam during this time, because the sign of Libra is pretty much active. Your sixth house and also your fifth house is a part of eclipse. So any mantras that you use, they are going to protect you during this time. And for that, I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Gemini Ascendant and what's happening with Gemini Ascendant as far as the month of October is concerned. I have mentioned that the month of October is a bit complicated. There are 5 key planetary transits, and the month begins with the second solar eclipse of the year. I have made a very detailed video on solar eclipse you can check out on my channel. So here I'm going to talk about a few important planetary transits and what you can expect, certain tips and remedies that I can share with you. I have prepared a representation chart just to give you a view of what's happening as far as some of these planetary movements are concerned. Let's start with your Lagna Lord Mercury, Buddha, because this Mercury is going to be a part of the eclipse. Eclipse denotes endings and new beginnings. And to understand this more, you must watch my previous video to connect and get some detailed tips and also remedies as far as this time period is concerned. So regardless of your Dasha and the Dasha, this eclipse is going to have an impact on you because your Lagna Lord is involved. But Mercury is going pretty strong as far as its exaltation transit is concerned. So one thing that you would have learned during this time, if not the easy way, the hard way, is to focus on your mental peace, to focus on your well-being, and that should be of your priority. You need to learn to be more assertive. You are a lot giving in nature, you might be, but at the same time, you need to learn how to say a no when you have to. Okay. And this is the kind of courage that Mars would be giving you during this time, or would have given it to you, because Mars continues to make a transit in your Lagna, in your ascendant, which gives you some firepower, which gives you some energy. And of course, Rahu continues to expand your workplace horizon, your workplace connections, and continuously being in touch with some influential people. And this axis is pretty much involved in the eclipse. So you can expect endings and beginnings as far as fourth house matters, your comfort space, your safe space, mother, homeland, of course, some karma related to it, and also your workplace. Okay, so home and workplace, it's the perfect time to declutter, for all these significations. So on 10th of October, this Mercury is going to move in your fifth house and it will form a very nice, beautiful yoga during this time. It will also be conjoined with Sun on 17th of October. Sun will make a debilitated transit here, but it will be supported by Mercury, forming a Buddha Aditya yoga. Okay, so this is one of the time when you can focus a lot on your future pursuits. Okay, because Mercury is having quite a favorable transit during this time, which is the second half of October. So you can definitely expect some good news. This Mercury is in trines with Saturn. Um, Venus will be in the sign of Scorpio around this time because Venus continues to make its nice Mool Trikon transit in Libra till 30th of October. After that, it will move in the sign of Scorpio in your sixth house. But Mercury's transit is quite favorable for you. It is quite strong. And this is something which you have to look out for. So any things related to progression, any support from the government, you will have more support from your leaders, maybe because your leaders would lose authority. So you can have some respite during this time. Okay, as far as Mercury's transit is concerned. Venus, which is your fifth lord and 12th lord, one of the most important planets for Gemini ascendants, it's going to make a transit in the sixth house. Now, sixth house Venus is Maran Karak. So it is somehow losing its significance. Significance with regards to relationship, love, interest, abundance. So you'll have to put in extra efforts as far as protecting these significations are concerned. But the saving grace is this Venus is being mutually aspected by Jupiter. And Jupiter will go retrograde on October 9th. I'm going to make a very detailed video on this. But just Jupiter is protecting and expanding the significations of Venus. It is a very auspicious mutual aspect during this time. Because when Jupiter goes retrograde, it has a very powerful seventh aspect. So it behaves as if it's a Jupiter in the sign of Venus. Therefore, both Jupiter and Venus, which is your fifth lord and 10th lord, are forming a yoga. So any key decision related to workplace is quite prominent, quite inevitable. Whether it'll be good for you or not, it really depends on your ongoing dasha antardasha. Saturn continues to go retrograde. Thankfully, in the next few weeks, Saturn will move out of its debilitated Navamsha in Aries and it will move to Pisces. So there is some relief, there is some respite as far as any form of stress is concerned or overwork is concerned. So you might be feeling overworked during this time. It is going to get a bit better. And Jupiter's retrograde is a sign for you that you need to increase your spiritual quotient. Read Sri Suktam, worship Lakshmi, Durga, Shakti. Any remedy that you need during this time should be related to Venus because you need to uplift your Venus, your Shukra during this time. Have huge respect for women, support female children, support their education, and you can also, consume food items related to Venus, lemon, all sour things, yogurt, lemon, and also related to moon, milk, rice, and that's something which you can consume on a regular basis, which will strengthen both moon as well as Venus for you, which could be quite prominent as far as the month of October is concerned. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Cancer ascendants and what's happening as far as the month of October is concerned for Cancer ascendants. Here I have prepared a representational chart using my software Parashara's Light, which is one of the most sought after Vedic astrology software. And I'm going to talk about some important planetary transits as far as the month of October is concerned. It's a complex month because there are 5 key planetary transits. And the month of October starts with a solar eclipse. And I've made a very detailed video on solar eclipse you can check out on my channel. And this solar eclipse is primarily activating your third and the ninth axis, your 3 and 9 axis, okay? Which means that it's time to take up a journey. So journey doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to travel, but this journey would mean that you would start something new. Change is inevitable. See, your Lagna Lord Moon is involved in the solar eclipse. Your second Lord Sun is involved in the solar eclipse. And your fifth Lord Ketu is also involved in this eclipse. They are being aspected by Mars and Jupiter, which are also important planets for you, your fifth Lord and ninth Lord respectively. So from that aspect, change is inevitable. October for you is a month of change. It is a month of building courage, building valor to face any odds. So you will have a courage, you will have some sort of command as far as your communication is concerned, some sort of authority as far as your communication is concerned. But be mindful of conflicts, be mindful of any quarrels. Anything that you do with your hand, that's the ultimate remedy. Either you write, journal, you work in the kitchen, or you exercise, do gardening. So anything that you do that puts your hand in practice, and of course, anything that you do in good use, that'll be quite beneficial for you during this time. So this is something which you can follow as an advice. Okay. Now, Jupiter, which is your ninth lord. Please be prepared for Jupiter's retrograde transit because it goes retrograde on 9th of October, and Jupiter will not start delivering results immediately because when it is going retrograde, its movement will be extremely slow. And when Jupiter goes retrograde, it is the Jiva that has some sort of suffering. So that means there is an continuous increase as far as human suffering is concerned during the Jupiter phase, considering the current times that we are living in. But this Jupiter is looking back at your 10th house. It wants you to focus on fixing some of the decisions that you've taken as far as your work is concerned in the past, and try to improve those decisions, try to learn from those decisions and make some better decisions. This Jupiter is aspecting your fifth house by its seventh aspect. It is aspecting other houses as well. It is aspecting your third house by its fifth aspect. It is also aspecting your seventh house by its ninth aspect. But due to the fact that it is going retrograde, its seventh aspect is extremely powerful. So seventh from Jupiter is how it will want to behave. This Jupiter will be as if it's in the sign of Scorpio. So it is a very good retrograde transit for you because your workplace eventually will improve. Your job related matters eventually between October, November will see some significant improvement. You could have an increment, you could have a change of job, you could have a change of project or a department for your better during this time. So this is something which you have to be prepared for. See, Venus is also going to come in your fifth house. Okay. Though Venus is not one of the most ideal graphs for you. It is a more of a neutral planet. It is making a favorable transit already in the fourth house. Very powerful, gains directional strength in its Mool Trikon sign. When it comes here on 13th of October, it is going to be in a mutual aspect with Jupiter, forming a beautiful yoga. Both are really enhancing each other's quality. Okay. They have a bit of conflict as well. So you need to be careful of your relationship. You need to also be careful of your children. So manage your relationship and your children in case you're a parent. This is something which will be the focus of the hour, but this is really focusing a lot as far as your future pursuits are concerned. And you can expect gains or a rise of income during this time. Mars, which is your fifth lord, continues to make a transit in your 12th house till 20th of October. So major period, Mars is going to be in the 12th house, which is your fifth lord. So your energy, enthusiasm is put in spirituality. Any mantras that you use will bring you peace, will uplift your mindfulness, will take you towards solitude. Go on a journey, go on a spiritual journey in the month of October. It will be highly beneficial for you because this is also a time when Sun will come in your fourth house, and this Sun will be debilitated as far as the fourth house is concerned, and also losing direction. So this could be a bit challenging, but you go on a spiritual journey that could bring some relief to you. And Mars is there. So from an energy point of view, it's quite supportive. Any mantra that you use, if it is related to Jupiter, if it is related to Shiva, if it is related to Jupiter, it could be as simple as Om Guruve Namah. This could benefit you. On 20th of October, Mars or Mangal will come in your ascendant. You need to welcome Mars in your ascendant, even if it is debilitated, because it is forming a beautiful yoga. So Mars's significations are going down, but at the same time, it will continue to give you energy. It will continue to give you passion and enthusiasm to be a go-getter. And of course, work towards your goals and work towards the things that you wish to achieve during this time. And workplace progress, because Mars is your 10th lord. It'll make a transit in your first house. Thereafter, it'll make a transit in your second house. So you have a Simhasana yoga for the next couple of months. So workplace related change, promotion, progression is quite favorable. rise of finances is quite favorable in case your dasha antardasha is supportive during this time. Make sure that you have plenty of energy in terms of anything that you do. When you speak to your people at your workplace, you need to demonstrate energy. So make sure you get a good night's sleep, make sure you're charged up all through the day, and you carry yourself in the same manner. Keep your ego aside, avoid confrontations, avoid arguments, avoid any ego clashes, ego battles as far as your workplace is concerned. Just focus on doing your work. Results are inevitable. Results are going to come and they will be positive. That's what I hope for you. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now, let us talk about Leo ascendants and what's happening with Leo ascendants as far as the month of October is concerned. I have prepared a representational chart to give you a holistic view and a detailed view in terms of what's happening as far as some of the key planetary transits is concerned, so that this explanation can become more interesting for you and more engaging at the same time. October is a complex month. Firstly, we are beginning the month with a solar eclipse, which is a time to uplift yourself spiritually. It is a time for endings and new beginnings. This is happening between your second and eighth axis, and I have made a very detailed video. You must check out this video on my channel. Your Lagna Lord is involved in this eclipse. So quite certainly, when Surya is involved, this will have an impact on you. This will have an impact on your personality and, of course, your finances and also your family. So something's coming to a close and there are new beginnings. You have to do financial management. You might have to deal with some inheritance. If you're married, there could be some issues as far as with your in-laws is concerned as well. So this is one space where you have to be careful of. So you need to focus on bringing happiness and prosperity within your family. So this will be the focus of the hour for you. You could be a bit restless in the first few days. See, your Lagna Lord is going through important transit. So firstly, it's in the second house. It continues to give you that Dhan yoga, that wealth yoga. If you're still looking to start a source of income, either a new source of income or a secondary source of income, the first half of the month is quite promising. It's quite progressive because Mercury is there, Sun is there, they're forming a natural Dhan yoga. Later on 17th of October, Sun is going to enter your third house. Your Lagna Lord will be debilitated. So somehow it is struggling during that time because it will lose its significance. Though Mars will move in your 12th house on 20th of October. So last 10 days, this Mars will be aspecting Sun and also Mercury at that point in time. So Sun will have huge support because Mars's fourth aspect is all about protection. So your body, your vitality, your immunity will be protected. You will have to focus a lot on your well-being. So that will be your priority, spirituality and well-being. The last 10 days of October, and of course, it will carry through early to mid of November as well. And discipline in all these things, that is the key for you. Any effort that you put would require firepower, would require energy, and would require good communication, very clear communication. Anything that you say, any email that you send, be very clear about it. Plan it well, structure it well, and have a goal in mind in terms of what you intend to achieve from this goal. The reason for this is because Jupiter is going to go retrograde in your 10th house. Okay, and Jupiter for you is your fifth lord and your eighth lord. This Jupiter is also involved in the eclipse because it is aspecting all these planets. So it is causing a favor here. But this Jupiter will be aspecting your seventh house. Its seventh house aspect will be quite prominent when it goes retrograde. And this Jupiter will behave as if it is in the sign of Scorpio. And this is where you can expect work-related change or transformation during this time because both Venus and Jupiter will be in mutual aspect between 10th, between 13th October till the end of October, and of course early November as well. So this is quite a prominent time. Any efforts that you put, workplace change is guaranteed. Workplace change is there. Whether it's going to be the good change or a bad change depends on your ongoing dasha antardasha, but this is going to be the focus of the hour. So therefore, I'm telling you, consciously work on your communication, especially with regards to workplace matters. Initial first few days of, first couple of weeks of this Jupiter's retrograde could be a bit challenging as far as workplace is concerned, but towards the end of October, I do expect some sort of positive change or some sort of relief as far as any work-related matters are concerned. And this time period anyway will make you more spiritual, will make you more of giving in nature. Now you must understand, last 10 days, when Mars is going to be in Cancer, it is getting Niche Bhanga because it's debilitated in the 12th house. But there is Mars on one side, there is Ketu on the other side. They're causing a Papa Yoga on your Lagna. So it is hemmed between natural malefics. But Mars for you is your Bhagyesha. Okay. So from that point of view, it will have minimum impact. Ketu for you is your co-fourth lord, but there could be a stressful situation. Physically, it could be taxing for you. So you might feel tired, you might feel lethargic, or there could be some minor health issues that could be there. So your physical body, you need to take care of it. You need to also take care of your decision making because you could have arguments. You'll have firepower in your second house, 12th house. Both Mars and Ketu are fire. They're fiery grahas. Your Lagna Lord is also fire. Surya, a lot of fire during that time. So make sure you stay away from arguments. Make sure that you stay away from any debates and any discussion. Worship Lord Shiva. Use mantras related to Shiva. And this will calm you down. This will bring some peace in your life, bring some prosperity in your life. And of course, focus a lot on your mindfulness. So you need to tame your mind. You need to focus a lot on your well-being and keep these fire energies going and of course working for you for good and not let it get into your head so that it turns into an ego and then you start thinking that okay, I know it all, right? Be humble, practice humility, and at the same time build cordial relationships with other people. And this is the message that I'd like to give you, and for that I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Virgo ascendants and what's happening with Virgo ascendants as far as the month of October is concerned. So I have considered some key transits as far as month of October is concerned. Here's a representation chart which will give you a holistic view about your ascendant and how the month of October is going to be. There are some key planetary transits that are happening, 5 major transits that are there in the month of October. Jupiter will go retrograde, Mars will go debilitated, Sun will go debilitated, Mercury and Venus are also going to change signs, which are important planets for you. Mercury is your Lagna Lord, Venus is your ninth Lord, it's your Bhagyesha. So their transits matter a lot. And your ascendant is involved in eclipse on 2nd of October. Your ascendant Lord is also involved in eclipse. So inevitably, this is going to have an impact on you. And I've made a very detailed video. You can refer to that video as far as eclipse is concerned and what you can expect and what are certain remedies as far as your ascendant is concerned. Saving graces, see, Mercury continues to make a transit in your ascendant in its exaltation sign. Very supportive. It will move in your second house. Okay, it will briefly, I mean, it will only join Venus for 3 days. Okay, so 10th of October, Mercury moves here. 13th of October, Venus moves out of Libra and enters the third house. So these are very prominent transits for you. Mercury is forming a Dhan Yoga. And this Mercury later will be conjoined with Sun, okay, which is your 12th lord. So expenses are going to increase, but when expenses increase, so does the income. So these two are very prominent transits for you. Change is going to be pleasant. So you could expect some sort of financial management. You could expect some sort of focus on your family's well-being and change in your eating habits. It is very directly linked to what you consume, what you eat. Second half of October, you need to make sure that you drink plenty of water. You keep yourself hydrated and eat green pistachios and also green leafy vegetables. All food items related to Mercury to help you channelize your decisions accordingly, to help you bring prosperity in your life. And also from a manifestation point of view, it could be good as far as your finances are concerned. Venus continues to move in its Mool Trikon sign till 13th of October, which is very good for you. It is forming a very nice yoga for wealth matters. I think month of October is quite promising for financial matters. Later, Venus will move in your third house. And this is where it will be in a mutual aspect with Jupiter. And this Jupiter by that time will be retrograde. So Jupiter's seventh aspect is very powerful, is very prominent. It will elevate the qualities of this Venus. It will elevate your bhagya. It will make you more dharmic. This is activating a journey for you. You're likely to go on a journey. Journey represents change. Anything that you start which is new. Or you could take up a pilgrimage, or you could go on a short or a long distance journey during this time. Those people who've been looking forward to settling outside of the home country, making a long distance travel, the next couple of months could be quite favorable for you depending on your ongoing dasha antardasha. So you are likely to move away from your homeland. And if there's any paperwork that's been delayed, that could probably happen during this time. Mars favors workplace for you. Any workplace related change for the first 20 days continues to be favorable because Mars gains directional strength here. It's your third lord. Change is going to come at workplace, but this is going to be a good change eventually. You need to embrace that change with both hands. Later, Mars will go debilitated in the 11th house, but that's more of a good transit for you. I don't consider this to be bad, even if it's debilitated for you. Okay. Saturn, which is your fifth lord and sixth lord, continues to make retrograde transit in the sixth house. It's going very strong. Saturn is the significator. It is going to protect you from any opposition. It is going to protect you from any enemies. Considering that you are disciplined, considering that you keep all the enemies of your mind, those shadribus aside, and take charge of your mind, take control of all the negativity that's going on in your mind during this time. Saturn will continue to support, and it will make you more spiritual. It will make you more of giving in nature. See, it's an important month for you as far as some of these energies are concerned. The remedy for you comes from Mercury. Any mantra that you use, you should look up to Mercury. So look up to Vishnu, right? Om Vishnave Nama. That's the ultimate mantra for you during the month of October that could focus and foster your well-being and help you make some good decisions during this time. Change is inevitable. New beginnings are inevitable, and I hope that is for your best and that is for your overall well-being. And for that, I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Libra ascendants and what's happening with Libra ascendants as far as the month of October is concerned. It is a complex month. There are a lot of planetary transits that are happening, and I've prepared a representational chart using my software Parashara's Light to give you a very clear, interesting view and also make you feel engaged during this time so that you can understand what is happening. And I'll give you some tips and remedies as far as the month of October is concerned. So we're going to talk about some important transits. Let's begin with your Lagna Lord, Venus, Shukra. What is happening with Shukra? See, first few days of October till 13th of October, Venus continues to be in your ascendant. It is forming a beautiful yoga. It continues to focus a lot on your personality, on your immunity, on your vitality, and who you are. So this is quite a prominent time. This is one opportunity for you to make some decisions related to yourself. From a self-awareness point of view, this is also a great time because see, the eclipse on 2nd of October is happening in your 12th house. And this is something which I have mentioned in my solar eclipse video, a very detailed video on solar eclipse that I have made, where I have mentioned that you can expect some sort of developments as far as your 12th house and 6th house matters are concerned with regards to endings and new beginnings. So expenditure is going to come down during this time. That's a good news for you. You will be more self-aware because you would want to know and understand more about yourself. And at the same time, do a SWOT analysis. Pen down your strengths, your opportunity areas, and of course, those things that you want to develop, that you want to focus on during this time. This could be quite prominent for you. This could be quite good for you. Venus continues to support you. On 13th of October, Venus will move to your second house in the sign of Scorpio, forming a nice Dhan Yoga. Venus is also your eighth lord. Okay, it will be in a mutual aspect with Jupiter, which will be retrograde at that point in time. And Jupiter's aspect is quite prominent on the seventh house because seventh from Jupiter is getting active. So Venus will have a lot of power, a lot of amplification during this time. So from a financial point of view, it is good. If you were to make some financial decisions, long-term investment related decisions, that could bring you some good results as far as this time period is concerned. Any decisions pertaining to your family, this could be quite crucial during this time. Okay. Mercury, which will be exalted in your 12th house, you need to welcome Mercury in your ascendant. Okay, that is happening on 10th of October. and this Mercury is forming a beautiful yoga. So both Mercury and Venus for this transit are supporting you from a financial point of view, because Mercury is your ninth lord, forming a yoga here. And then Mercury will also move in Scorpio. So the month of October, November is more like a Simhasana yoga. Okay, it's more like a nice yoga that will focus on your fortune. It's your ninth lord in the first house. Okay, it is forming a Raj Yoga, but at the same time, it will make you more dharmic. It will make you more, inclined towards protection of your dharma. Fortune is favorable during this time. Sun will also join Mercury, right? Mercury gains directional strength in the first house. Sun is the significator of the first house. Both are forming a Buddha Aditya Yoga, second half of October. So anything that you learn, it's a month of learning for you that will open up new avenues, new opportunities as far as your future is concerned. So you must learn, use mantras, use mantras related to Lord Shiva during this time, or you could use mantras related to Lakshmi or related to Shukra during this time, because Shukra is making a transit in your Lagna, and then in your second house, read Sri Suktam. These are some of the things which you can do during this time to make the most of the month of October. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Scorpio ascendants. What's happening with Scorpio ascendants as far as the month of October is concerned? The very complex month of October, because it starts with the solar eclipse, and then there are 5 key planetary changes that are happening in the month of October, including Jupiter going retrograde on 9th of October. So I've prepared a chart using my software Parashara's Light, giving you a representation view of what's happening as far as the month of October is concerned. Now, 2nd of October, there's a solar eclipse that is happening. I have made a very detailed video on solar eclipse, so you can check out on my channel and get to know how this will have an impact, what kind of endings and new beginnings you can expect, and what are certain remedies. It's happening on a 5-11 axis. Overall, I expect it to be good for you. Okay. Sun and moon are involved, your ninth and 10th lord. So you could expect some sort of developments as far as your work is concerned. So new opportunities could come on the way. Let's begin with Jupiter, which is your 5th lord, which continues to be in your 7th house. Jupiter is in a direct motion. It will have an extremely slow motion. And on 9th of October, it'll be stationary for a brief period, and then it will go retrograde and it will move extremely slow. Relationship is the key. So it is bringing in a lot of relationship karma as far as being in the 7th house is concerned. So you have to look back at your 6th house, your daily routine and things that you do on a day-to-day basis. This is what Jupiter wants you to improve if you were to protect your relationship. So it could give you some trouble as far as your relationship is concerned. It could give you some karma as far as your relationship matters are concerned during this time. If you have a business or a partnership, you could say take some key decisions, either related to investment or related to change in that partnership. And this could be good for you depending on your dasha and the dasha that is going on. See, this Jupiter is going to put a lot of focus on 7th from its position when it goes retrograde based on the principles of Vedic astrology. And this Jupiter will behave as if it is in the sign of Scorpio. So for you, it is very good. Overall, this is going to bring in a lot of relief as far as relationship matters are concerned, as far as your future progress is concerned, as far as your finances are concerned. The next 3 to 4 months is going to improve your finances, is going to put you back on track. You have stepped out, you have moved out of your comfort zone, you're juggling with your relationship issues and concerns, but this time period is going to put you back on track as far as your financial matters are concerned. You will also have Venus in your ascendant, in your Lagna. So from a prosperous point of view, from a prosperity point of view, this Venus and Jupiter will be in mutual aspect. So you could expect one, a good change in your personality. You will change for good. You will bring in a lot of poise. You will be more presentable. You will be more conscious of your interactions with other people. That could give you some success as far as work-related matters are concerned during this time. That is quite inevitable. That is quite promising and prominent during this time. Your Lagna Lord Mars continues to make a transit in your 8th house till 20th of October. Okay. And this is another opportunity for you to continue this transformational journey. Be prepared. And of course, it will make you tough. It will make you be prepared for any sudden ups and downs in life, any unnecessary, irrelevant changes. And this Mars on 20th of October is going to come in your ninth house. Though it is debilitated, but it is forming a yoga because it's your first lord in the ninth house. You need to protect your dharma. You could have shifting tendencies during this time. Take care of your father's health or any issues related to your relationship with your father during this time. This is something which you have to be careful of during this time. Go on a spiritual journey, go on a spiritual retreat, worship Lord Vishnu or Lord Hanuman, or you could read Vishnu Sahasranam, or you could chant a simple Vishnu mantra, which is Om Vishnave Namah. This could bring you huge relief during this time. This could bring some huge benefit. So you need to focus on channelizing and protecting and elevating the significance of your ascendant Lord Mars during this time. It is going to make you spiritual. It is going to make you change ready. And you need to be the protector of your dharma during this time. Work-related matters are like to improve. You could have some new opportunities over the next couple of months. As I mentioned earlier, your finances are going to be better. So you will have the ability to put your finances back on track, put your income back on track if you work towards it. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Sagittarius ascendants. For Sagittarius ascendants, what is happening as far as the month of October is concerned? There are prominent planetary transits. There are 5 key planetary transits that are happening in the month of October, including your ascendant lord going retrograde on 9th of October. Okay, I have prepared a representation chart to give you a holistic view of what's happening, some remedies, and of course, what you can expect, some highs and lows of this month, and make it very interesting and engaging for you. So your 10th house is under the influence of eclipse that is happening on 2nd of October. I have a very detailed video on this eclipse on my channel. Please watch this video and try to understand what are those endings and new beginnings related to your 10th house and the 4th house that are going on. Because your 9th Lord Surya is involved in this eclipse, your 10th Lord Mercury is involved. So Bhagya, your fortune, dharma, and your workplace. That kind of change, new beginnings, is inevitable. You will become more dharmic. And at the same time, you can expect some sort of change in your work project, your job, or the kind of business that you do. So that is pretty much inevitable. Your ascendant lord, your Lagna lord, Jupiter, is going to go retrograde on 9th of October. So be prepared for Jupiter's retrograde transit. It is going to be good for you because this Jupiter is making a transit in the 6th house. It will look back at your 5th house when it is retrograde. So that means it wants you to fix some decisions for your future, for the betterment of your future. Also, some karma with regards to your children. So if you're looking forward to having a child, or of course, putting focus on your children, this could be a potentially favorable time for you. Your relationship matters are going to improve during this time. If you've had some sort of conflict as far as with your partner is concerned, or as far as with your relationship is concerned, that is likely to improve later in October because it will make you more humble. It will make you more attentive and more grounded during this time. See, this Jupiter is also putting a lot of focus on your 12th house. It wants you to become more self-aware because when Jupiter goes retrograde in the sign of Taurus, it will behave as if it's in the sign of Scorpio. Though it will remain in the 6th house, but it's more in a friendly sign. It's in a watery sign. So it's quite humble during this time, right? It wants to do a lot of research. You need to use your intelligence and, of course, your wisdom, knowledge in research related subjects, in hidden subjects. So you could learn astrology, you can learn Jyotish, and try to do spiritual things to uplift your spiritual quotient, yoga, sadhana, meditation. You will be a lot in some of these pursuits, particularly when Venus will also be transiting in your 12th house, and both Jupiter and Venus will be in mutual aspects. So your 6-12 axis is pretty active. Venus does well in the 12th house from a material point of view, but its connection with Jupiter and Jupiter's retrograde is going to make you more spiritual. So you need to manage these energies to create a balance, to strike a balance between these. Your 9th Lord, Surya, which continues to make a transit in your 10th house, where it gains directional strength till 17th of October, which continues to support workplace related decisions. One thing that is inevitable is workplace related change. Something is coming to an end, something is starting, and it is starting for good. And after this, Sun will move to your 11th house, and it will be conjoined Mercury there, which is your 10th lord. So from a work point of view, next couple of months are quite prominent. This, it could be challenging as well because you could get more work. You could get a bigger project, bigger assignment, wherein there could be stress, there could be challenges, but it will be full of learning. It will be very progressive because even if Sun gets debilitated, it will do very well in the 11th house as far as this particular transit is concerned. So change is inevitable. You need to manage and navigate these energies. Mars will be in your 7th house. It is Maran Karak. So again, relationship matters are going to be of concern. Those things are going to be there. And Mars will move in Cancer in its debilitation sign on 20th of October. This could be a sign of relief for you as far as relationship matters are concerned, because Mars is automatically naturally getting Neecha Bhanga when it is in the 8th house during this time. And this is mostly favorable for you. So again, from a spiritual point of view, last few days of October are quite excellent, are quite good, right? There are prominent planets in your 4th house, 8th house, 12th house, Rahu being there, Mars being there, and Venus being there. So put your energy, expand yourself spiritually, and use a lot of poise there, right? So any meditation, any prayers, any sadhana is going to be beneficial for you, and expect some good workplace related change. So be happy about it at least, right? And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Capricorn Ascendants. What's happening with Capricorn Ascendants as far as the month of October is concerned. So there are prominent planetary transits that are happening in the month of October. I have prepared a chart using my software Parashara slide to give you a holistic view, to a representational view in terms of what's happening as far as the month of October is concerned. And we're going to talk about some important planetary transits so that I can help you be prepared for it. And at the same time, this could be quite engaging for you. The month begins with the second solar eclipse of the year. And I have made a very detailed video on my channel that you can watch and, of course, understand as far as your 9 and 3 axis is concerned, where the solar eclipse is happening, what kind of endings and new beginnings you can expect with regards to matters of these houses. There are, of course, important planetary planets involved, including a 9th Lord Mercury that is involved, and of course, a 7th Lord Moon. So this could be related to your relationship and also related to your bhagya, your fortune. So you can watch this. Okay, let's begin with your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, Saturn, which continues to make transit in Purva Bhadrapad Nakshatra, and that's a retrograde transit. Now, one good news for you is that your Lagna Lord is very soon going to move out of its debilitated Navamsha, and it will move to Pisces. So that is more or less fortunate for you. It is going to be a sign of relief. It is going to bring your stress levels down. So expect your stress levels to go down after mid of October. This is when there is a sign of relief as far as this retrograde transit of Saturn is concerned. Financial management and, of course, your financial position is likely to improve later in the month of October itself. So you could have some new opportunities or a new source of income that could be there. Now, one karma that you need during this time is to change your eating habits, to transform or change what you eat, what you consume, which is directly linked to your well-being. And this is something which you have to be mindful of. Okay. Mercury, which continues to make a exalted transit in your 9th house. That's an exalted transit. Okay. And it will be there till 10th of October. It is involved in Grahan. It is involved in eclipse. So, of course, this will make a trigger as far as a journey is concerned. So change is inevitable. It is an excellent time for you to go on a spiritual journey, go on the path of dharma. It'll bring a lot of relief. It'll bring a lot of course, increase your mindfulness and make you feel more connected with the Almighty. This Mercury is going to move in your 10th house on 10th of October. So second half of October is very progressive as far as work is concerned. Firstly, Venus is there. Venus is going to move in the 11th house. So, which is forming a yoga. Your 10th lord is moving in the 11th house. So, you can expect gains related to work. And then Mercury that gains directional strength in the 10th house. This Mercury, sorry, Sun gains directional strength in the 10th house. Mercury is the significator of the 10th house. And Mercury will be conjoined Sun during this time. So, Sun gains direction and Mercury is the significator. And Venus is in the 11th house. Expect workplace transformation. So your 9th, 10th, and 11th house is pretty much active. It is a great sign of relief. It is a great sign of progress. If you've had some challenges in the past, now it is time to progress. Now it is time to move forward and improve your financial position. You see, this Jupiter is going to go retrograde in your 5th house. It will be in mutual aspect with Venus. That will be in your 11th house. And Jupiter will expand, elevate all the significations related to Venus. So expect new, bigger, better work-related opportunities, support from your leaders, support from your colleagues over the next couple of months. And this is what your focus should be. In case you're looking forward to a new opportunity, this is the time for you, which could be quite favorable, which could be quite prominent. Okay, as far as see, Mars will continue to bring in some opposition as far as this first 20 days is concerned, because it's in your 6th house. So it will bring in a lot of enmity, it will bring in opposition, it will bring in those obstacles. But as Mars will move in your 7th house, it will be debilitated and Maran Karak. So you need not worry after 20th of October. Okay, because it will be in its weak state. So regardless of being in the 7th house, you don't need to be worried about relationship matters. It'll make you more grounded. It will make you more humble. This is the time to look forward. It's a very forward looking month for you. It is a transformative month. Use mantras related to Lakshmi. Elevate and channelize your Venus if you were to succeed at your workplace. Keep a white flower plant in your house. Check the southeast corner of your house and ensure that it is decluttered. It is clean and tidy to elevate some of these qualities. And for this, I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Aquarius ascendants and what's happening with Aquarius ascendants as far as the month of October is concerned. The month of October is a bit complex because it begins with solar eclipse and it has a number of planetary transits that are happening. I have prepared a chart using my software Parasha's Light to give you a holistic view, to give you a representational view in terms of what's happening as far as the month of October is concerned. And this is where I'm going to talk about some key planetary transits. See, the eclipse is happening in your 8th house. Transformation is inevitable. So, endings and new beginnings, beginning of a transformational journey or something that you have been trying to change, transform. It will make you tough. It will make you be prepared for any sudden changes, sudden ups and downs in life. To understand this, you must watch my video on solar eclipse and how it is having an impact on different ascendant signs. I've shared some interesting tips and also remedies. It's available on my channel. Now, some key planetary transits for you and updates. Your Lagna Lord, let's start with Saturn or Shani, which continues to be retrograde in your ascendant. If last few weeks have been stressful for you, it is the sign of relief, because very soon Saturn is going to move out from its debilitated Navamsha. In Navamsha or the D9 chart, it is being moving in the sign of Aries. It will enter Pisces. That is the sign of relief. Your stress levels are going to go down 100% later in October. You will start practicing mindfulness. You will start practicing more meditation and you will become more disciplined. You will try and come back on track. If you've felt a bit lethargic over the while, lazy over the while, now is the time to change. Now is the time to improve that significance. So this is the kind of transit which Saturn is giving you and the power that Saturn is giving you during this time. So you could expect some developments. You could expect some growth as far as your transformation, your personality is concerned, your body, your vitality, or your immunity is concerned, that is going to improve over the next few weeks. Venus, which is a Yoga Karaka planet for you, your 4th Lord and your 9th Lord, continues to make a transit in your 9th house till 13th of October, which is quite prominent, positive for you from a dharmic point of view, and also forming a yoga. This Venus is making a move in your 10th house on 13th of October, and it is going to be extremely supportive during this time. So expect workplace related change or transformation because both Venus and Jupiter will be in mutual aspect. This Venus will also be aspected by your Lagna Lord Saturn by its 10th aspect. So there are a lot of energies that are there in your 10th house. There are 3 planets in your Kendra, Saturn, Jupiter, and Venus, most of the month of October. So expect some developments. Your 4-10 axis is quite active. See, because the Jupiter will go retrograde on 9th of October, and it will put a lot of focus as far as the seventh aspect is concerned on Venus to elevate its qualities. Because seventh aspect becomes very powerful, and this Jupiter will behave as if it is in the sign of Scorpio. So your workplace related matters are going to elevate. It's going to be transformational. Expect change as far as your workplace is concerned. Expect good relationship with people at your workplace. So you will have to look back. You will have to improve relationship with people at your workplace. This Jupiter will look back at your third house. You will have to look back as far as your change is concerned, some recent change or the kind of efforts that you put. You might have to do some things differently. Your communication needs to be different. Okay. Maybe you've been using a particular style. Now you need to change it. Maybe the way you write, the way you speak, the way you interact with others, that needs to change. Okay. Mercury, which is again an important planet for you, your fifth lord, it is involved in the eclipse. So of course, expect future transformation, expect new beginnings as far as future is concerned. Okay, this is the perfect time to set your goals. Now, this Mercury will move out from the eighth house, where it is going it's going in its exaltation sign, so it's not bad for you. But this Mercury will have a better transit in its ninth house. Okay, where it will be conjoined Sun, which will move on 17th of October, and Mercury will move on 10th of October. The first 7 days, Mercury will be alone, and then Sun will be here. Later, they will also be aspected by Mars when Mars enters your sixth house in its debilitation sign, achieving Neecha Bhanga, and it'll be aspecting both Sun and Mercury by its fourth aspect. So Sun is the significator of the ninth house. Mercury is forming a beautiful yoga. It's your fifth lord making a transit in the ninth house, will be protecting your dharma. Workplace related matters are going to be of your priority over the next couple of months, and so is your change. Okay, so that is something which you have to be prepared for. That is something which you have to be ready for during this time. Okay, this is quite a transformational time for you as far as some of these matters, some of these pursuits are concerned. Now, Mars is making a transit in your fifth house for the first 20 days. So you would lack consistencies as far as using any mantra based remedy is concerned, because that is causing an obstruction. Okay. But you need to continue to channelize yourself. Mantra for you is a Venus mantra during this time, which will support your work, which will support your professional growth and professional success. So worship Goddess Lakshmi, and at the same time, use any mantra related to Shukra or Lakshmi during this time to bring some prosperity in your life. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Pisces ascendants and what's happening with Pisces ascendants as far as the month of October is concerned. So I have prepared a chart using my software, Parashara's Light, to give you a representation view in terms of what's happening as far as the month of October is concerned, to make it more engaging and interesting for you. I'm going to give you some remedies as well, and of course, some tips, and also what you can expect, some highs and lows. There are a number of planetary transits that are happening. There are 5 key planetary transits in the month of October that I'm going to talk about. Most importantly, there's an eclipse. The month of October starts with a solar eclipse, the second of the year, which is happening on 2nd of October, and it is happening in your 7th and 1st axis. I have made a very detailed video on this eclipse, which is available on my channel, and you can watch this to learn more about the kind of endings and new beginnings that you can expect during this eclipse, because your 4th lord moon is involved. Your ascendant lord Jupiter is involved because Jupiter is aspecting all these planets that are involved in the eclipse. Your ninth lord Mars is also involved because Mars is also aspecting all of these by its fourth aspect. So from that point of view, it is quite an important time for you for your personal transformation, and also transformation related to your relationship, related to your partnership or marriage. That could be the focus of the hour. Okay. But here, let's talk about your Lagna Lord, Jupiter. Be prepared for Jupiter's retrograde transit that is happening on 9th of October. I'm going to make another very detailed video on this, but Jupiter is going to go retrograde on 9th of October. It is going to move extremely slow. So the initial first few days could be challenging for you. You might find yourself in a very exhaustive situation. You might think that you're putting a lot of efforts, you're not getting any results. You're trying to improve your relationship, you're not getting any outcome. The situation will try to push you out of your comfort zone, and you will lack mental peace. It could be a bit stressful for you, so be prepared for it mentally. because this change is for greater good. Okay, this Jupiter is putting a lot of focus on your ninth house and also on your second house. So, firstly, it is looking back at your second house. It wants you to improve your finances, it wants you to improve your family situation, and it wants you to make changes in your dietary restrictions, or, of course, dietary lifestyle, or the kind of food that you consume. So, that is expected to change. You're likely to go through some transformation there. And you will do some financial management as far as this time period is concerned. This Jupiter is also focusing a lot on your ninth house because it will behave as if it is in the sign of Scorpio, but it will still remain in the third house. See, third house Jupiter gains Maran Karak. Okay. Therefore, its retrograde transit adversely is good for you, but the initial first few days could be challenging. So, October could have some challenges. November onwards, you can expect some breakthrough results. You can expect some good developments. You will also have Venus in your ninth house, which will enter on 13th of October. Both Jupiter and Venus will be in mutual aspect. 3 and 9 axis is quite active during this time. So you can expect a journey, a start of a journey. See, the first few days, there's a Sarapa Yoga in your, transit chart, because there's Mars, Ketu, Sun, Rahu, 4 malefics, natural malefics in Kendras. So, of course, it will create some sort of stress, some sort of discomfort as far as your situation is concerned. But you need to start a journey, go on a spiritual journey, go on a spiritual trip, enhance yourself spiritually. It is the time for you to focus on higher learning, learning something which is beneficial as far as your workplace related matters are concerned for your growth and for your development. Okay. And this way, it could be quite prominent for you. Let's talk about Mars, which is your ninth lord, your Bhagyesha, that continues to make a transit in the sign of Gemini till 20th of October. It continues to form a nice yoga for you. This yoga would continue even when Mars enters your fifth house. It will be in its debilitation sign. It's losing its significance. So the first 20 days for you could be quite prominent if you have to make a real estate decision or decision related to your assets. It will push you out of your comfort zone, but you can maybe invest in real estate. You can buy something new as far as property is concerned. Your bhagya will favor you. You could also expect some workplace related change. You need to protect your relationship during this time because there's a lot of heavy relationship karma in the month of October. But this Mars will continue to support. It is a perfect time for you to declutter, use your energy, and of course, firepower in cleaning your house. That's the that's the ultimate remedy for you. When Mars will move here, it will be debilitated, okay? But at the same time, it will continue to form a yoga because it's a ninth lord in your fifth house. So that's a good position to be in. It is also your second lord in your fifth house, which is forming a Dhan Yoga, which is forming a Lakshmi Yoga during this time. So finances are eventually going to improve over the next few weeks. Okay. Uh, Now, Sun, which continues to be in your seventh house, will move into the eighth house along with Mercury. So Sun and Mercury are going to be here. Sun is debilitated, but it is getting Nicha Bhanga in the eighth house. Mercury generally does very well in the eighth house. So at least your relationship matters are going to improve towards the end of October. That is something which you can expect. And if there are any prominent decisions related to your business, related to your partnership, related to where the people who are opposite to you are involved, you can expect or probably make those towards the end of October, early November. That's when things will start coming back on track. That's when things will start improving for you. Okay. You need to stay away from or be very mindful of any unethical practices. Don't get into any shortcuts. Don't get into any such decisions, which could be a quick way of, making progress, or quick way of making money that could be detrimental towards your well-being. So that's something which you have to be conscious of during this time. Okay. That's the message that I have for you. Worship Lord Krishna. Okay. Your fifth Lord is Moon involved in the eclipse. Use a Krishna mantra, right? Use a beautiful Krishna mantra called Om Kleem Krishnaya Namah or Om Kleem Vallabhaya Swaha. So you can use these mantras that will bring a lot of relief and give you some peace and prosperity. Worship Lord Krishna during this time, which is related to your fifth Lord. And for that, I wish you the very best. May you have a pleasant month of October. So this was a monthly transit update for the month of October. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, spread the awareness, and stay tuned for more such videos on my channel. Thank you very much. God bless you all.